Hey, happy day 788 of What You Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, also known as Pajama Grandma. Thinking about re or pro. Now, what does re or pro mean? Re means, am I being reactive or am I being proactive? Reactive, of course, means that everything that comes around and happens around me, I don't plan ahead or think ahead about, I just respond to it. So, somebody says something mean to me, I respond. So, to be proactive, I would think in my mind ahead of time, hey, if somebody says something mean to me, how would I respond? How am I going to respond? And so then when somebody says something mean to me, I already know how I'm going to react, how I'm going to respond. And nowadays, if somebody says something mean to me, I figure it's all about them. It's not about me at all. And I don't take it personally, so I don't bother to respond. Or I just smile and say, hey, have a nice day. Or, well, I guess you feel that way, or something that just shows them that, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I don't necessarily have to agree with it. Every time somebody does something or says something to us, we don't have to respond, right? So that's a really easy example of being reactive versus proactive. Now, we are all in the same boat. That was the topic of Supersize Your Business today, or Save Your Business today. It's kind of more the tack that we're going on right now, because a lot of the business owners that I normally work with are visibly freaking out. And I'm like, you don't get to freak out because you want to stay in business. You want to stay in business or we wouldn't be talking. So instead of freaking out, what could you do? Go ahead, freak out, get it out of your system, but then take a deep breath and say, what is possible? What else is possible? One of my favorite questions in the world is, what else is possible? Because no matter what is going on, there's always something else that we could be doing, that we could be thinking about, we could be focusing on, that we could be creating. So what else is possible is a great question. And not what else isn't possible. It's not what else can't I do. It's what else can I do? What else is possible? What can I do? What will I do? What am I willing to think about and explore? How much time am I willing to spend saying, okay, well, right, my business is shut down right now. What am I going to do with this big gap of time? I'm one of those people that's always been a studier and a learner, and I've just always, went to college forever, got 3 degrees, and because I like learning. And so after I finally got out of college and got a real job, according to my parents, I continued to learn and grow and take different courses and develop in different ways, depending on what was going on in my life or my career and what I wanted to learn about. So I have taken, handling difficult people, handling difficult situations, any kind of change, leadership, teamwork, personal growth and development courses that I could find. And of course, with the internet, the amount available exponentially and radically increased to the point where you couldn't possibly keep up with all of them. But, I used to be a huge Nightingale Conant and Stephen Covey and, Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, everybody, all the big names. I've studied them all, and I didn't list them all, but I actually, they have you in your social media posts put courses and trainings. I don't even put them because there've been so many. I have actually tubs full of the booklets and the pamphlets and the things from all of the courses and things that I've taken. So what is the first thing that I did and decided I was going to continue to do when I found out, actually just yesterday, that we were going to have a month-long shutdown? I already did this over the weekend because I knew we were going to have at least a week or two shut down in my home state, which is Wisconsin. But yesterday our governor announced it's going to be a month. So now, if you're in business, it's business as usual, and hopefully you're continually improving and making your systems better and faster and more efficient and more effective than they were, especially as I look at the grocery industry and shortages and things. I think we're seeing loopholes in the distribution system overall in that industry, and hopefully as they're going through and finding those gaps, they're not being grumpy like the lady was to my sister yesterday, and not even to her, to another lady, about the lack of toilet paper. They're fixing the system, right, and fixing the front line. And here it's probably somebody that doesn't want to be at work, right? Somebody that wants to be home with their family like everybody else, and they're probably feeling bad that they have to go to work, and the rest of the people that have lost their jobs are like, I wish I could go to work, right? So it's just this massive time of change and upheaval, and we can face it reactively, and just whatever happens, we can respond to it either positively or negatively. And let's be honest, our initial response generally when we hear about a change or something that we think isn't fair or unjust is we freak out and we have a negative reaction. And it seems the younger we are, the more the more negative reaction we have. I don't know why, but I guess when I was younger, when something outside of me would change, I would be more upset about it than I am now. Now I'm just like, hey, I'm going to do what I can do and go with the flow and figure things out. And guess what? Even I am having to Google, how do you do your own nails? How do you do certain things that I've had other people do for me for a long time? I'm like, okay, I don't know how to do this. I got to figure it out. And I got to get creative and be creative in the solutions. I had a problem. My nails were, already a week or two past the time. They were a week past the time I should have gotten them done. I should have gotten them done the first week in March, but we were closing on our house. The second week in March, but I went out of town for my birthday, and so I put it off. And then I was going to do it, but of course, the day before my birthday, the president said, hey, we're in a pandemic. These are the things that are going in place. And then every day after that, things have fallen in place. And it wasn't, at that point, it's not appropriate to go get my nails done, no matter what. Even if they're open, even if I could. For me personally, it's not appropriate because I am in the category of, you got to take it easy. You got to be careful type people, both from an age and a compromised immunity system standpoint. Because I didn't take care of myself when I was younger. And, shame on me, big lesson learned now, right? All of us that, maybe kind of didn't take particular care of us and put ourselves last with respect to our health are learning a lesson now that, hey, that really is important. So let's be proactive. I'm going to encourage everybody to please, I'm going to start begging, please be proactive. Please ask yourself every day, what can I do? Not what can't I do? What will I do? What could I do? Oh my God, what could I do on my to-do list that I've wanted to do forever? And now I've got a month I can do it. What have I wanted to do around the house? What have I wanted to do with respect to organizing my life, organizing my paperwork? I'm going to clean out the pantry, and the refrigerator and the freezer. I already told my daughter that I would clean out the pantry, the refrigerator, and the freezer so I can see where we're at, what we've got, what we don't have, and what we really need to go out for so we can minimize our trips out. And to be honest, I'm not really getting out much at all or going out at all. I have to depend, primarily because I can't see, so I can't even see. So I need to not go places because I don't want to touch things that I shouldn't touch or endanger myself or anyone else in my family. Hanging out with my 4-year-old granddaughter every day, so I want to make sure that I'm protecting her as well as myself and the other people I love and care about. So guess what? We're doing Zoom calls. Last night and yesterday was my daughter's birthday, and her husband, who is in Colorado working as a lineman and isn't with her, and she couldn't go out and be with him. They all had a Zoom call. They had a Zoom cocktail party for her birthday. So they had like a Zoom birthday party. It was awesome. And laughed and talked. I think they were on for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just being together apart, right? Even though they can't physically be together, we can be together in ways that would get creative and would get imaginative. So find ways to be part of the solution. I'm gonna hammer that home. I'm doing it with myself, my kids, every day. What else is possible? How can I serve? How can I help? What can I do right now to make sure that when this is all over, be proactive and make sure when this is all over, there is a place for me in the world, right? Especially if you've lost your job. And, we like to think that our jobs will all come back, but guess what? They won't all come back. The industries that have been shut down, many of those businesses will throw up their hands in the air, be the victim, and say, I'm going out of business. It's not worth it to me. I don't want to rebuild. I don't want to try to get it back. And they'll spend this interim time not doing anything, but maybe, feeling sorry for themselves. And we all do that. We all feel like victims sometimes. And we all go through a little bit of a stage like that. It's kind of like this is a grieving process that we're going through in mass, right? We're grieving not being able to have the freedom and do everything that we always do and want to do. We're grieving not being able to hang out with the people that we like to hang out with or go to the places that are exciting and fun for us. And so we have to get through that before we can say, all right, yeah, this has been a challenge. This is a challenge. I'm not going to say it for 1 minute that this isn't shaking me up and a challenge for me. And I would say, if you ask my kids, they would say that I was reacting more than I thought I was reacting. I thought, this is what it is. We'll figure it out. We can do this. But they said, now you're a little more remindy than you usually are when we go out of the house. And I guess, from a selfish standpoint, I am. Because it's, I hate to compare it to an STD, but that's what this is like right now, only worse, because you don't actually have to have intimate relations with people. You just got to be around them. And within 6 to 10 feet, geez, right? That's really scary in some aspects. So we have to keep that in mind, and we have to be cognizant not only of ourselves, but of other people and the impact we can have, not just on other people, you know, because this is going to roll through the whole population. It is going to affect all of us. I think that my kids were saying yesterday that 80 to 90% of the population will get this virus. And you know what? That's a whole lot of people that are compromised in our health and our immune systems that can potentially die because of this. And if we can save the 20% that are most at risk and most fragile from getting it, then that's, you know, that in and of itself is us doing our part to make the world a better place. So today was all about in the same boat. We are all in the same boat in this situation. We are all being impacted by the coronavirus. I don't know of anyone right now who isn't in some way, shape, or form being impacted by what's going on in the world right now. I feel very blessed in that I feel less impacted than a lot of other people, because over the last 2 years I have, you know, I don't like to say it, it's a good thing, but I've gone blind, legally blind. I've been, you know, blind in one eye for like 20 some years, and then my right eye, my other eye, took the same path as my left eye, and so now I'm like legally blind and very visually challenged. So over the last couple of years, I've been slowing my roll and my interaction, my going out, the things that I attend, what I go to, travel and things has been really minimized, and I've spent a lot more time at home, especially since I haven't been able to drive. You know, I've been driven for over 2 years now, and when you don't drive, you don't have the freedom. And so a couple of years ago, I actually had to get used to not having the freedom of going where I want, when I want, in terms of under my own power and being able to drive. Well, now there's nowhere to go, which puts us all in the same boat for the most part. You can go to the grocery store, you can go to the gas station, you can go to work. You can go to work if you have to go to work, but if you're in an industry that shouldn't be working or has been shut down, you're not going to work anymore, at least in my state as of yesterday. And I would think that other states will continue to follow suit. I believe Minnesota's meeting the end of this week about the same thing. And so we'll probably see, and since I live right on the Minnesota-Wisconsin border, I'm sure we'll see more changes. But this too shall pass. We'll get through this. I know we absolutely will. And so even though we're in the same boat, how we respond being in that boat, and we're facing the same storm, is entirely up to us. So I'm going to encourage you to respond in a proactive versus a reactive way. I think we've all kind of had enough time now to do our reaction and to be victims and to feel bad about, oh, this is awful. My daughter just got fired this Monday, you know, this week, and so there's more of that coming down the pipe. And I'm sure with the announcement yesterday from the governor, there were more businesses even that shut down that were doing things before. But if you're in a business, if you've got a way to solve a problem, find a way to do it remotely. Find a way to serve people over the internet. There are so many tools and so many ways to do that now. You can meet face-to-face with people. Geez, you can do Facebook Live video calling. How many of us? There's 2 billion people on Facebook. Most of us can figure out how to push the button on Facebook Messenger that even me with my magnifying glass can find on my big screen TV. That has the little video player. You push that, and instead of just talking to somebody through Facebook, you can actually video conference them. There's Zoom. There are so many other tools that I'm sure I have no idea about, because I've always loved Zoom. And, you know, then one of my coaching clients turned me on to very first time to Facebook video. And so we do Facebook video conferencing because actually they secretly know that they can get me when I'm doing other things. If they come in through Facebook or if they come in through Voxer, a lot of times people can get me that normally I'm not available and they can't get me. So there's always a way to get everything we want to get done. Today is day 4 of the Live Challenge Workshop. I actually decided over a month ago that I was doing a live challenge starting this past Monday, the 23rd. And so, you know, it's online, it's virtual. I wasn't going to not do it. So today is all about, and it's really appropriate for what's going on right now, how you can be the absolute dominant force and the leader in your industry or in your field or in your business. And now, better than any other time, is to become that. If you haven't been that, if you haven't been honing your skills and becoming the go-to expert in your industry, today on the Live Challenge Workshop, we're talking all about that and how you exactly do that step by step by step. The key things that you need to do to make that happen. And guess what? you can make that happen in a couple of weeks or a month for sure, using this time that you might be out of work or be down. And even if your business is still running, get some more help in to help you, and focus on this. Focus on how you are going to be different and better than ever coming out of this situation, because we all have the potential to do that, right? We all have the ability to be better coming out of it. But guess what? It's like the 80-20, but it's even worse than that. It's like the 90-10 or the 95-5. The 5% of the people that hear me and go out and do this will find their life skyrocket in a positive way following this boat ride that we're all on. Those that don't, and probably we'll say the 80%, because 20% of the people will do some proactive things and do some personal development. They'll go online, they'll take a course, they'll read a couple of books, they'll do something to improve their skills. And a lot of those people 80% of the people will just go back to the jobs where they were before all of this happened, right? But at least 20% of the population is going to be displaced, and 20% of the population right now will seize this opportunity to do things that they've always wanted to do, to learn things, to sharpen their saw, to get the skills and the information and the knowledge that they've wanted to for a long time, to be more valuable to the world going forward. And I'm going to really encourage you to be that person, be one of those people that does that. Even I already bought a couple of courses and a couple of books, because I can't read the books, but I got the audio books. I can listen to them throughout this time period, right? Or I can plant myself in front of Netflix and I can watch another Netflix series while I eat bonbons and get chubbier, because I'm not out in the world as much as usual. But guess what? I'm also making sure that I keep moving and that I am out in the world. Not out in the world interacting with other people, but out walking around. I can't go on the playground equipment anymore, dang it, but I can walk to and through the park. I can walk downtown and go through, down toward the river and back. And guess what? It's easy to stay 10 or 20 or 50 feet away from people, but you can still say hi and greet them and say, hey, I hope you're doing well. Glad to see you out and about and walking, And make sure, if you are out and you do get to go to a business, that you thank the people that are continuing to work, that are continuing to make our lives and our worlds work while we are at home kind of feeling sorry for ourselves because we have to be at home. Guess what? Those people that are out working and interacting with the world, I bet a lot of them wish that they were home, and vice versa. So do what you can do, focus on what you can do, and be part of the solutions, not part of the problem. And be creative and look for ways that you can help be part of the solution and the solutions going forward. Not just the problems that we're facing right this minute, but the problems that will be created by the way the world is going to have to change going forward. And if we're thinking the world's not going to change and everything's just going to go back to normal, guess what? It's not going to happen. What else is going on? Fun challenge today was about, I can't remember what it was about, because every day for 365 days, I'm doing one fun thing every day. I think it was pretty appropriately timed, given that this is all happening, because there's a lot of us at home looking for one fun thing to do every day. Guess what? Everything in this little journal book and everything I share is something that you can do without having to leave your home. So that makes it even more exciting and more fun. Go out, have an absolutely fantastic, fun day. Do what you can do, focus on what you can do, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.